You're listening to Radio Kidnappers. We are the voice of Hawke's Bay, and it's the wonderful world of Wardini books again. I just like that title. It's a good title.
It's very alliterative.
It is. Well, you guys are a bookshop, so...
True.
It works. Hello.
Should know how it works.
You should know how it works.
Yeah.
Hello, Lou.
Hi, Jill.
How's it going?
Good. How are you going?
Yeah, not too bad. What have you got for us today?
First one I've got is Gnome. It's a
It
picture of
looks
children.
really cute.
Yeah, it's dead cute. By Fred Blunt. It's an origin story for your garden gnomes.
Ooh.
I know, how cool is that?
I've always wondered where they come from.
Well, now you're going to find out, Jill. It's exciting. Isn't it? So in this one, this fellow is a gnome. Say hello to the readers, Mr. Gnome. No, he says. So that sets up what kind of a little fellow he is. Where are you going? Nowhere. Come along. No. And he's just really rude and horrible. He's off fishing. And he shoos away the poor little frog who actually lives there. And then, look, this is the worst part. Oh, look, here comes a hedgehog. He's got an apple stuck on his spines. Poor Mr. Hedgehog.
Poor hedgehog.
I know. Excuse me, could you please help me by taking this apple off my back? You can have the juicy red apple if you like. I prefer worms. Isn't Mr. Hedgehog polite, Jill?
He is.
Yeah. But no, he's not polite, that horrible gnome. Anyway, it goes on like this for a little bit. And then a witch comes along. She's eating a juicy red apple because she's the one that helped out the hedgehog, so she's quite happy.
I like that the witch is good in this story.
Hang on.
Starts off good in this story.
She is, but she takes no shizzle.
Okay.
So, she very politely says, "Excuse me, gnome, could you stop fishing in my pond because it scares the toads?" And he's being all rude to her, and she says, "Well, really, I'll give you one chance to move, or else." And he's still being really, really rude. N-O spells no. And do you know what she does, Jill?
She turns him into a gnome.
She turns him into an actual stone gnome.
Actual stone gnome.
And then later on, oh, you'll look good with all the others because all those gnomes were really rude and she's got a pond full of them. Yeah, so that is how they came to be. So if you are a rude little gnome, something bad will happen to you.
Yeah.
You'll get your comeuppance from someone who doesn't take any shizzle.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Good. Yeah. Moral to the story.
Be
but
nice.
Also quite entertaining.
Yeah. I like the kids' books that are like that have a good moral that you don't necessarily pick up on when you're a kid. You do when you're an adult, but...
Yeah, but it's all part of your learning, isn't it? And like, oh, you know, that was a really cute, lovely little hedgehog. Why wouldn't he help it?
Yeah.
You know, most kids would be like, that's wrong. They know. Yeah. They know all about it.
They do.
So we've got a young adult novel next.
Ooh, I do like young adult novels.
Waking Romeo. And it is by Catherine Barker, and it is loosely based around Romeo and Juliet, the Shakespearean story, but we're set in 2083.
Ooh.
So what's happened is Romeo and Juliet are Montagues and Capulets, and they have fallen in love or become infatuated with one another after the party, like they are in the original, and their families are warring, and stuff's happened. Romeo is not dead. He's in a coma.
Oh.
In the hospital. This is really post-something, post-apocalypse, post-humans.
Something's happened
ruining
in
the
world.
Earth.
Yeah.
So they're basically just waiting now for the Earth's resources to run out, and they've got this little community going, and they've built a wall around themselves, and they're just surviving off canned goods. And there's still a hierarchy, so the Montagues and the Capulets are still like the ruling families. But Romeo's in the coma, and Juliet, who now goes by Jules, she's alive, so they're both alive, and she goes to see him every day. They are married, even though they're teenagers, and she's lost the use of an arm in whatever happened between them, the poison and the stabbings and all this kind of thing. And Rosaline, the ex, gives the speech every year, you know, the anniversary of Romeo going into his coma, and it's all very sad.
So he's been in the coma for a while.
A couple of years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There is time travel, but you could only go in pods forward in time. So that's what's ruined everything, because whole communities moved forwards and left the time behind completely devastated and nobody to do the jobs, you know, all that kind of thing. So they've really, everything's completely up the wop. But there's a traveller called Ellis that comes back in time. He seems to have the facility to move forwards and back, and he's something to do with waking Romeo, because if they don't have this child together that they're supposed to have, everything will go wrong completely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Ellis is going to be instrumental. But of course, he's quite a handsome chap.
I was going to say, no pressure either, Romeo and Juliet, by the way.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so because there's so much timey-wimey jumping back and forth, things change all the time. So Juliet is hanging out with Ellis. He's on this mission. He has to try and convey to her what's going on, and loads of twists, loads of turns. Wuthering Heights comes into it quite a bit. Yeah. I don't want to give too many spoilers. So you've got that kind of romance aspect with Romeo and Juliet. You've got Heathcliff and Cathy / Emily Bronte involved in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And everything gets resolved rather beautifully at the end. So it's quite mind-bending, really.
Yeah.
Sounds nicely
quite
done.
Good.
It's really fast-paced. The romance is part of it, but really Juliet is not into that anymore. You know, she's got this husband in a coma. She's got all sorts of stuff going on her head. There's a secret that she harbours that's absolutely broken her.
Yeah.
Her father's had a nervous breakdown. You know, everything's going on for this girl. And yeah, you have to read it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to tell you too much because of the time travel aspect, without spoiling everything.
That's right. I'll add it to my to-read list.
Yes, absolutely. Good one. Good one for Jill, I think.
I think so. And what is our third book today?
How do you go with the gory murder mysteries?
I quite like them.
Yeah. Oh, this one's just amazing. Right, so this one I couldn't put down. It's called The Art of Death, and it's by David Fennell. I think it's Fennell. He's an Irish writer. And in this one, it's set in London. And we've got Detective Inspector Grace Archer. She's just about to start her new job, taking over from the bent copper that she investigated, arrested and sent to prison. So you can see already it's going to be awkward on Grace Archer's first day, because there are
maybe like the first week will be a bit awkward.
Yeah, there are still, well, the whole book's a bit awkward in places, because there are people on her team that were loyal to this guy that she put away. So awkward. And her DI, detective chief inspector, that's her boss, was actually having an affair with the guy as well. So, you know, total awkwards all the way through. So the first person she meets at work is DS Harry Quinn, and he's an Irishman, and he's on her side. Everything's going to be fine. So there's the start there of the classic cop sidekick relationship, you know, the detective relationship. So the first job that they get called out to is someone sort of dumped an illegal art installation outside an art gallery, and it was expected, but the art director is doing his nut because it's not what he expected, because what you've got is 3 Perspex boxes, large Perspex boxes filled with formaldehyde.
Oh.
Guess what's inside them? Yeah. So they're not models at all. They're not dummies. They're actual humans, dead humans in the formaldehyde as part of this art installation. So the reason, you know, people are like, gosh, they're so lifelike, and then Grace Archer comes up and goes, I know that bloke. That is actually him. He's a homeless man. He's been missing for a few weeks now. Wow. So this artist then is called Anonymous, and he spells the A with an @ symbol. And he thinks he's the great artist, and people just aren't getting his art. But he is a serial killer, and he's stalking his next muses. So the first one were homeless people, but it might be, you know, battered women, tragic characters that he is hoping will raise awareness of things, but he doesn't really care. He's a psychopath. So he's just
going to put them in art. So
he's going to put them in art, absolutely. Okay. So then there's this terrible race against time for Grace to try and find out who the hell he is. But he stalks people online, so it really makes you look at your social media settings, because if he wants to know where you are and you've just booked in with your friend to Cafe Damp,
or if you've just taken a photo of your lunch.
Yes. Then, you know, it's time-stamped, we know where you are, you know, so and people can get hold of you. And also you're not at your house if someone wants to go and fiddle around in your home. So
that's scary.
It is, yeah. I've read a couple of novels like that made me think, ooh, look at your settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so an absolutely brilliant combination of Grace Archer, Harry Quinn. You know, she's got a bit of a rubbish boyfriend. She's got her father was a copper, and he was murdered by a gangster. So there's that complication there. And I think in books to come, all these threads will be teased out. And she lives with her grandfather currently, who's got dementia. That's also an added complication.
I was going to say, it's just going to add to her already awkward life.
Yeah, she's a great character though. So I look forward to book 2. Definitely, it's great.
Is it going to be like a long series, do you think? Or like a trilogy? Or no idea yet?
I need to find out, because there are certain things that are, you know, he answers enough that it could certainly work as a standalone novel, but it does leave you thinking, I want to meet Grace Archer and Harry Quinn again. I want to see because Harry Quinn's also got all sorts of tragedies. You know, he's a single bloke living in a high-rise flat. He wasn't always, though, so what happened in his life? Yeah, so really good characters, loved it.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming in and sharing those books with us.
You're welcome.
And until next time, have fun reading, everyone.
Okay, see you, Jill.